corned beef, potatoes, and cabbage. Nothing screams St. Patrick's Day more than that. But today, I'm going to be preparing corned beef, potatoes, and cabbage out on the Weber kettle. So here I've got a 3-pound point cut corned beef, fresh out of the package, just the kind of thing you're going to get in the store. You can use a flat cut if you want. I actually like the point cut. A lot of people prefer the flat cut, but there's a lot of good fat in here, and fat is flavor. First thing I want to do is I want to pat this dry. Get some of the excess moisture off, because even though this has been rinsed and patted dry before, there's a lot of moisture in corned beef. We're not going to get it all off, we just want to get enough. And that's good enough. Now you'll notice it's got a good amount of fat here. I'm going to leave that. We want that fat in the pan that it's eventually going to be cooking in. It's a lot of flavor in there because we're going to have those potatoes and cabbage in there too. So now I'm going to apply a rub. Yes, a rub. Because this corned beef is going to go on the kettle for a while, just sitting there, indirect heat. Want to get some extra flavor on the outside from this rub. Now this rub is made from 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cracked black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of paprika. I'm just going to take this and start sprinkling it on the outside, working it in. Want to get a really good coating of this. Maybe asking yourself, brown sugar on corned beef? This is a very salty cut of meat. The sweetness is a nice contrast to that. Get the edges. Get the ends. This is going to be going fat side up on the grill today. And we're not going to be doing any direct grilling. This is all indirect today. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Let's get it out to the Weber kettle. Might be hard to see in this light, but the kettle temp's running about 280. But right now, anywhere between 250 and 350 is going to be fine. So let's get this corned beef on. I have my Weber kettle set up with the 2 briquette baskets and some foil in the middle to catch some drippings. Have my ambient temperature probe from the ThermoWorks smoke. We're just going to get this corned beef on here and get cooking. Close my wings here. We're not running any internal temperature probe on this corned beef. This is strictly going to be a timed cook for this portion. We're going to let this go for 30 minutes indirect. So let's get our lid on. So as I said, this first part of the cook is just strictly by time. We're not going for any internal temperature on that meat. This is not going to cook it fully. This is going to get it ready to go into a foil pan with the potatoes and the cabbage and finish on the kettle. We want to let that rub sort of set and develop some more flavor on the outside, so it's not just your standard corned beef. The temperature of the kettle is going to be somewhere in the 300-degree range, and that's fine with me. That's all I need. That's sort of like an oven temperature or a slow cooker temperature. So I'll bring you back in 30 minutes when it's time to transfer this to our foil pan and put in the other goodies. All right, we've been going 30 minutes here. Time to pull our corned beef. We're gonna run it inside, get it all set up in the pan with the rest of the goodies. Let's see how we're looking. I know the light's a little funky here under my patio cover, but man, that is just a really good color on that. That brown sugar on there started to caramelize. This is really nice looking. All right, let's get this off here, get it inside so we can get it back out here on the grill with the rest of the ingredients. So the first thing I want to get prepped is this cabbage. I'm just going to break this down into some wedges. I'm going to split it right down the center. And then down the center again. I don't know about you, but I love cabbage with corned beef and cabbage. I'm making it a little bit different way today than my wife does. She does a fantastic way where she sautés it with butter. It's just amazing. Now I've got some red potatoes here, and all I'm going to do is halve these. All right, let's get everybody into the party together. First thing I'm going to do is add some carrots and onions to the bottom of the pan here. This is for some flavor and to create a bed for our corned beef to rest on. So there's 3 medium carrots just chopped up and a medium white onion chopped up. Just going to spread these guys around. We're gonna add about a cup of water. You can use some sort of stock if you want, but personally, I just prefer the water in here because so much flavor is gonna come off of the corned beef. And then we're gonna put our beautiful corned beef in there. I mean, it's already looking good enough to eat even though it's not cooked all the way through and heated up yet. It's just gorgeous right now. I'm gonna take some of my cabbage wedges, start working them in here. Some of our potatoes. Everybody crammed in there. Don't worry about packing it too tightly. Tight is good. You're gonna create a lot more thermal mass in there for the heat to penetrate and absorb. Some more of our cabbage down on this end. If you need to break some cabbage to make it fit, go ahead and break it. Just like that. Let's go ahead and get some foil on this and seal it up tight. All right, we're double wrapped with foil. Let's get it back out on the Weber kettle. Keep it cooking. So make sure that's centered in there between the two baskets. Let's get our lid on, keep cooking. So my top vent is set at about 3/4 open, and my bottom vent is set at 1/3 open. So now we're just gonna let it cook. I'm gonna try and keep it in the 325 range. If I need to adjust my vents further, I will. In about 2 hours, we're gonna check it. Total cook time's probably gonna be between 2 and 3 hours, but we'll see. If it takes a little longer, it takes a little longer. So I'll see you back here in a couple hours. All right, we've been going about 2 hours. It's time to open this up. Have a look at that corned beef and our potatoes and cabbage. Look at that. That's looking really tasty. Smells amazing too. I'm gonna check for tenderness here first. Yes, okay, so hopefully you can see that. Let me get this foil out of the way. All right, let's just do a quick, see if you can see that. 206. This corned beef is ready. Potatoes are tender. Everything's like butter. Cabbage, totally tender. All right, it's time to get this inside. So here is our corned beef prepared on the grill, first indirect, then in a pan with those potatoes and the cabbage and those vegetables. I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. So let's just cut into this because I need to plate up some of this with those potatoes and the cabbage for tasting. I'm just gonna go straight in the middle here, right through that fatty top layer. This is like butter. Let's see how it looks here. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Just gorgeous, gorgeous corned beef. Corned beef is one of those things that's pretty hard to mess up with the normal cooking methods, but if you just put in a little extra effort and do part of this with a grilling method, look what you end up with. This wonderful outside, beautiful inside. Let's plate this up. So here is our plate of corned beef that we rubbed, indirect grilled out on the Weber kettle, finished off in that pan with potatoes and carrots and cabbage. It looks just amazing. It smells terrific. It's time to taste. All right, so here we go. A nice piece of the fatty point corned beef. I told you this is my favorite part of the corned beef. A lot of people prefer the flat, but if you know brisket, if you've barbecued or smoked brisket, you know that the point really is the desirable cut. All that fat in there, and you get it to the right temperature and the right tenderness, this is gonna melt in my mouth, I can tell you. It's the right choice to get the point cut. That's my opinion. You can disagree with me, but you're wrong. The point cut for corned beef is so good when you prepare it correctly. Now I'm gonna go for another piece, but with some of that cabbage on it, because I just love cabbage that's been cooked with corned beef. Oh, this cabbage picked up some of the sweetness of that rub. I think there's always a little bit of sweetness in cabbage. Anyway, some people think it's bitter. I don't find that at all. But cooked with the corned beef this way with some of that rub and the juices coming off, it's even sweeter. I'm just gonna try a carrot because I like cooked carrots and it's gonna taste like a cooked carrot. Oh, again, all those flavors from the corned beef are infusing everything that was in this pan with them. And let's go with a piece of corned beef and some potato. I love red potatoes. And honestly, I think they go best with corned beef. You could use russets or Yukon Golds or anything you want, but I just think there's something really nice about that creaminess you get from the red potato when it's cooked correctly with a corned beef. Flavor throughout, flavor on the skin, just perfect. So if you're gonna be doing a corned beef and you've got a grill outside, why not combine those two things? Give that corned beef a good rub, some indirect time, and pair it with those traditional sides, potatoes, cabbage. You got a winner.